maybe we should go back to our own country. Yeah, there's been a lot of racist tension going on recently because a lot of these, United the Kingdom marches, EDL marches, they want, a lot of people in the UK want their country back and they want a lot of these immigrants to leave the country. And it's really got me thinking, like, whenever there's a lot of division between a country or society in general, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, like, this is such a tactic of the higher-ups is trying to get us all to argue within each other. Like, I hate seeing these things because it's just like, whether it's black people versus white people or, gangs versus other gangs or whatever the reason is, whenever I just see little petty arguments, not petty arguments, but whenever I see people fighting within each other, I always just think to myself, this is exactly what the people who really control the world want us to do. They want us to just fight within each other on petty stuff so that they can really have control and power or whatever they need to do. So when it comes to racism or left versus right, it's just such a tactic of division, and I really, I don't rate it. But it has got me thinking about all of these racist marches. And I was thinking, I think I was talking about this with a friend recently, because obviously, look, I'm Pakistani, yeah? And Pakistan is a full-on Pakistani country. Everyone there is basically Pakistani, yeah? Not many other races are living there. And I got me thinking, I was saying to someone, I was like, a lot of these British white people, they sometimes can get a bit annoyed that there's just so many ethnic people there, yeah? Brown people, black people, whatever it may be. And I was thinking to myself, well, if you were living in Pakistan and bare white people all of a sudden just started to come over and start living in the cities, you'd probably be making the same, if not more of a fuss as a lot of these white people are making. Like, oh, there's so many Pakistanis, this ain't Pakistan, this is England, yeah? Bro, if bare white people, bare Gore, yeah, started to come to Pakistan, you'd probably make a bit of a fuss as well. Now, or would you? That's just the question to think about, yeah? But obviously there's a lot of different context. The UK, England has gone around colonising the whole world, and there's been a lot of bad things that they've done, yeah? If you read up on history, and it's not been exactly, how do you say it, morally good what they've been doing, bro. Around the world, raping things, bro, it's mad. I don't want to go into mad detail about that, but yeah, it's been crazy what they've been doing, colonising the whole world, how they've gone about it. But yeah, if they were to come to Pakistan, for example, and bare white people were there, how would you be feeling? Because sometimes I think to myself, if I was a white person, would I be feeling a type of way? And really and truly, I start to think about it like this whole nationalism thing, yeah? Nationalism meaning that, every country should be its own race. It's got me thinking, like, is that really... I low-key been thinking it's a bit of a bad thing. Like, should a country be a white country? Should a brown country, for example, be a brown country? Like, let Pakistan just be full of Pakistanis only? Because it's very interesting when you think about it, because I think, look, bro, at the end of the day, yeah, forget all this race stuff. There's one race to a human race, yeah. But obviously, genetically, they're going to have different people of different races. But the more we care about our race so much, the more division it's going to kind of cause, I feel like. And that's where a lot of these issues can come about. But back to what I was saying, yeah. So, going back to our own country, I went to Pakistan a few months ago for the first time in 21 years, and just like a lot of these developing countries, I'd say, you can't really say third world countries these days, you got to say developing countries. But when I went to Pakistan, I was shocked about how cheap everything is. I'm talking cheap. And one thing a lot of people dismiss and they forget this, if you are from a Western country making pounds or dollars or whatever it may be, in other countries, you are living like an absolute king. And I'm not just talking about, you go holiday and everything's cheap. Bro, if you decided to live there, you would live like an absolute G. Like, I went to Pakistan, I remember seeing like a whole pizza, or like big 2 large pizzas and chicken wings or something. It was like £5. And it's got me thinking like, bro, I'm paying £5 just to flipping get 3 wings from Boss Man. And you're talking about £5 for 2 fat pizzas. Like, what am I doing wrong? And obviously, yeah, use a bit of common sense, yeah. Those countries, they don't have a lot of the same facilities and infrastructure and lifestyle, whatever, of course. But if you're making Wi-Fi money, you're making money from your laptop, and you don't necessarily need to be in the office, then, bro, I saw one time, I think it was Ty Lopez, he said that Ty Lopez is the guy who's like, in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini, but you know what's more important than this Lamborghini? Knowledge. Yeah, that's him. But he said, someone said, what's the best way or the quickest way to become a millionaire? He said, forget that. Just make 100 grand and go to a developing country, Thailand, Bali, any of those kind of places. Your money will take you so much more further than £1 million. And it got me thinking like, bro, lifestyle in the UK it's not the greatest. Now, sometimes I'm here in the UK and sometimes I'm in Dubai. I'm kind of floating sometimes. But, bro, they say go back to your own country. This country really does squeeze you in many ways in the UK. High taxes, a lot of crime rate. You know, when I see grey skies, it's so bloody depressing. And when I was living in Dubai for a whole year, one thing I loved is that every day it was sunny. Every day it was just sunny. A friend of mine said to me the other day, he was like, one thing about being rich is that you can basically make it summer everywhere. Like every day is summer, because you could just go to you can go to a hot country or go where it feels like summer any time of the year. And I mean, yeah, bro, when you live in a nice country, you can have it's up to you. If you want to go live somewhere like that, you can. So when they say go back to your own country, obviously the UK has its benefits and stuff, but going somewhere like, again, I'm not advocating, I'm not just saying, bro, get up and go back to Pakistan, yeah, because opportunities are different. But, bro, you be living pretty sick. I was at my family's house and I was saying to my uncle, I think I was just complaining about back pain, yeah, and he was like, all right, cool. Bro, half an hour later, some next man pulls up to the yard, yeah. Bro, I take my top off and the guy starts giving me a massage, bro, like in the living room. And I'm like, bro, this is not bad, you know. And then after, I don't know how much he paid him. I think he paid him like, bro, it's mad, like £2, £3 maybe, for like half an hour of actual massage. And, you know, as a British person, if you're making pounds or dollars, whatever it may be, bro, you can slap him, what, £5 or £10, £15 even if you wanted to, yeah? Bro, normal massages cost more than that. I'm not saying the quality is going to be the same, but still, like, you actually live so comfortably there. And here, you're just getting squeezed left, right, and centre in these foreign countries. Another thing I wanted to talk about as well, because I had a few points, is building on that. Like, I understand why people go to these other countries like Bali and Thailand as well. And it got me thinking about, also, it got me thinking about how us as people in society, we look at different people living in different countries very differently depending on who they are and where they come from. What I mean by that is, look at this. Look at these three words: immigrant, migrant, and expat. Yeah? If you're a bit unsure what these words mean, they're basically all the same thing. Yeah? An immigrant, a migrant, and an expat. You might be thinking, what's an expat? Well, an expat, I heard it for the first time when I was in Dubai, is basically an expatriate, yeah? I'm pretty sure. Someone who's living in another country for work, more or less. That's basically what it means. But wait, hold on a second. Immigrant, isn't that someone living in another country? And a migrant, someone living in a different country? Well, an immigrant is usually someone who's living in another country permanently. So let's just say someone who was born in Pakistan living in the UK, an immigrant. A migrant is someone who is usually living in another country but temporarily, maybe seasonal or just for work. And then an expat is someone who is living in another country, usually for work. But that word, expat, is usually used for Westerners, and it's a bit of like it's the privilege you get. Like, if, let's just say Dubai, yeah? Let's say a white man goes to Dubai from the UK and he's working in Dubai, he'd be considered an expat. But a Bangladeshi labour worker going to another country, Dubai, to work is now considered an immigrant, a labour worker. So it's very interesting how you see different perspectives, all because of race and where you come from. And the lottery ticket of being born in the UK is something that shouldn't be taken for granted. And it's just I don't know, I feel like it's very insightful. But the point of what I'm trying to just say in this video is basically, yeah, man, maybe go back to your country ain't such a terrible thing. Yeah? Now, obviously, don't give power to the racists and stuff like that. Allow them, because half the time, these people saying go back to your own country, mate, but go back 3 or 4 generations, half the time, they're not even flipping from the UK themselves, yeah? They say all these things about, asylum seekers, this and that, and they're coming on boats and stuff, and they don't even realise that half the time these guys are coming from war-torn countries, and they're in war. Why? Because Britain has something to do with them being in war, yeah? So they have to come back to the UK. And I was reading stuff very interesting as well from Akala, yeah? Akala, very... bro, I rate this guy a lot. He's a rapper and he's got a book. You'll see videos of him debating Tommy Robinson and stuff like that. He knows a lot about race, and he's like a sick mathematician as well. But he said something about, what did he say? You know what? Usually I won't edit these videos, but it just came back to me what I wanted to say about Akala. What I read in Akala's book was he was talking about how during the Windrush generation in the 80s, basically after World War II, the UK invited a lot of people from Jamaica, and I'm not sure if it was just Jamaica or the Caribbean or other countries like Asian countries as well, yeah? But they invited a lot of these people to be workers and build up the UK after World War II, I think, something along these lines. And after they invited all the people to basically be like workers, and these Caribbean people were told that they were British citizens. Like, they were told, they had the ideas of Britain being like the white savior. They had all the money and everything, and then when they came to the UK, they saw like homeless white people and stuff like that, and they'd be thinking to themselves like, what the hell? They were white people were described as the saviors to them. So when they came, it was crazy. But when these people came to the UK as like workers and stuff like that, then they realised the true racism that happened in the UK, and them growing in numbers and everything. I don't think that was the actual plan for the UK to be like a multi-ethnic society. I think what actually was supposed to happen was they were just here for work, and then as time went on, I might be butchering this completely. I do need to actually finish this book, and this is why it's important to take notes of what you read, because then you can forget things. That's what I actually used to do. But yeah, it wasn't their intended plan to have this place be a multi-ethnic society. However, London is thriving as a place where it's got all the different ethnicities. I feel like it's a good example of how life can be. Obviously, there's a lot of downsides, but bro, being from somewhere like London where you got Pakistani friends, Somali friends, white friends, Turkish friends, that country, it's a pretty sick thing. It's very eye-opening. But yeah, it's just interesting how the UK didn't intend, or actually should at least say London or the UK didn't intend for it to be multi-ethnic, but they had to, because after World War II, they invited all these people, and then yeah, there's a lot of history and context to it. One day I'm gonna do a proper like book review about that book, because it's amazing. And if you ain't got necessarily the time to read it, or you're unsure if it's a good book, you could hear my thoughts and opinions on it. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, that's gonna annoy me now. But bun it, no edits, bro. I'm trying to be consistent with this channel. Bun it. If you made it here, 10 minutes into the video, you're a real one. You won't care. I'll talk about it properly in another video. But anyways, best way to live: go to a cheap country, yeah, making them pounds and dollars. And I can make another video talking about that, by the way, as well, how to get into Wi-Fi money. That's basically what I do. And yeah, man. But please, guys, give me your thoughts, opinions. I love hearing what you guys have to say. This is a channel that I'm trying to be consistent, posting daily on. And even though the channel's only got like 300 something subscribers, I've actually been getting some nice comments from you guys. I actually genuinely like to see what you guys have to say. I read all of the comments. So big up to everyone watching the videos. You're all real ones. And long form videos on my main channel coming soon as well, inshallah. But this is just something I'm making part of my routine every single day. Yeah. But thank you guys for watching, and peace.